Good evening, everybody. John here from Stardom On Blog, and by popular demand, we're going to go ahead and publish a second video today and put it on Susie's Facebook page and potentially on YouTube. And earlier today, Susie went live and talked about how she created courses and what software we were using. And a lot of the questions in the comments had to do with the software we were using to record the videos, as well as how we stream live and show our webcam and our computer screen. And the answer was we use OBS, which is on the screen here, but that didn't really tell the whole topic because OBS is not the most user-intuitive tool out there. It's a little bit advanced and a little bit scary for some people. And so Susie, as sweet as she is, she said, "Hey, John, whenever you get a chance, it'd be great to make a quick little tutorial and just walk through the basics for our readers, her readers, and help them get started with OBS." And because I try to win brownie points whenever I can, I decided let's go ahead and do it right now, right after her recording, and answer some questions while I know you still have the questions in your head. Okay, so that's enough of an intro. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to talk about tonight. So by popular demand, like I said, we'll talk about what is OBS and why do we love it so much. We're going to show you how to download and install it. It is a free tool. We're going to go through settings, like kind of screen by screen, and everyone's computers are different, everyone's internet connections are different, so I can't tell you the exact best settings for you, but I'll give you some of the best tips that we've discovered because we've kind of been up and down and have figured out what works best for us and show you the tools we use to help determine the best settings. We'll actually show you how to go live in Facebook, and also we'll show you how to create some of those cool different scenes. So for example, if you have the entire webcam to show your entire face, or how Susie does the side-by-side. We'll kind of show you some of those little things, and you'll be able to kind of be armed and confident to go forward and play with it yourself. And also, I will tell you, YouTube is also a great resource to kind of learn these things, but oftentimes, they don't explain things the best ways, and it can be a little bit confusing. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into it. So what is OBS and why do we love it so much? It is open broadcaster software, and we're going to go ahead and go to the web page of it now. And I'll pull this guy into the window here, OBS project. You can get it probably just by Googling OBS. It's such a popular tool these days, and obsproject.com. Download OBS, and you'll be able to, it'll ask you if you're Mac or Windows. Download, install, super simple, very easy, lightweight software. So once you have it downloaded, I'll go ahead and let's start walking through the settings. So I'm actually recording this video in a different program so that we can walk through the settings in OBS easier. So I'll pull up OBS and let's kind of show you. So there I am. So let me make this a little bit bigger, take up more of the screen. All right, so here we are. And it's going to look a little bit weird because it's showing kind of window in window because both programs that are running are trying to Inception. If you guys have ever seen that movie Inception where the girl is like envisioning the world and she puts two mirrors side by side. So that's kind of what you're seeing here. Anyways, okay, so this is your kind of window. It's your preview window. It's how you design your scenes, as well as kind of giving you a quick place where you can look over to the side and see what your users and your viewers are seeing at the moment. It's not something you want to have up in the recording window at the specific time when you're presenting, because you want to be able to show your material, your slides, your whatever it is you're presenting. But if you have a second monitor, or if you have one of those very high resolution monitors, it's good to have off to the side so you can see it. All right, so when you get in, this will look blank. You're going to need to add scenes, add sources, and we're going to walk through all of that super quick here tonight. But first and foremost, let's show you kind of the settings and what I recommend you guys get set up with. So go into your settings. There's a bunch of tabs here on the left, and we'll kind of flip through. You don't need to mess with everything, and I would advise you not to, because there's a lot of different settings that if you don't know what it does, Google it, YouTube it. I don't know what all the settings do, but I know enough to be a little bit dangerous. So in the general settings, the one thing I would definitely recommend you click on is in the output section. You'll see that automatically record when streaming. I feel it's always a good practice to have a backup when you're especially when you're streaming live. Facebook has not failed us yet in keeping a recording so we can put it on our page, but this is nice if you want to quickly take that live stream and edit it in Camtasia like Susie has talked about we use for our editing, or upload it directly to YouTube. It's just nice to have that recording. And then kind of going down, the rest of this is really not that important, just kind of little preferences there. So nothing really to worry about. This one, stream, we're going to come back to because I'll show you how to connect to Facebook, because I know it's complicated. It's definitely complicated the first time, but once you get used to it, you'll be good to go. In the output section, this is one where this is kind of it's very dependent on the power of your computer. For example, the bit rate, it has something to do, I'm not the fanciest person out there, but it has something to do with how quickly you're sending information to Facebook or YouTube to stream. And I cannot advise you the best, but what I can do is direct you to who can, and that is YouTube. So YouTube published this pretty awesome guide, I guess you could call it. And I'll add this link to the description in the video when we post it. But this kind of walks you through live encoder settings, bit rates, and resolutions. All the stuff that we know nothing about, right? So what it does, and again, this is for streaming live to YouTube. I'm going to assume that similar settings would work well for Facebook. For example, on some projects I work on, I stream more to YouTube because my audience tends to be on YouTube. Susie's very much on Facebook, and we don't change the settings between the two platforms. So I think we'll be in a good shape there. So basically what you look at is if you want to be able to stream at 1080, which is, that full screen resolution, it tells you what bit rate range you should be at. So what that means, 3,000 to 6,000, what does that number mean, you might ask? Well, that has to do with your upload speeds of your internet. The better internet you have, the more data you can send to Facebook, and your face will look pretty and clear, and it'll look better. Obviously, the slower your internet is, the lower resolution, the lower quality the stream is you'll be able to get out onto Facebook. So how do you determine how fast your internet speeds are is the next logical question, right? So to do that, I would definitely recommend going to speedtest.net. And this is a free website. I think they put ads and they make money off their ads because I use this tool all the time because I'm a geek. It's true. And yeah, you can definitely tell they're making their money off of ads, right? This is a pretty ugly website, but it's a great tool. So you click begin test, and I'll probably fast forward through this on the recording, but what it's going to do is find your best internet connection. And yes, like I said, I'm a geek, so we do pay a pretty penny for our internet because we have so little time. The last thing I want to do is wait for my pages to load all day long. So this will first show you your download speeds, which is not what you care about for streaming video. Downloading is when you're when you're watching a video, you care about your download speeds. But if you're actually pushing that content to the internet, you care about your upload speeds. I'm going to dial down the geekiness in a little bit, so bear with me here. This is the number that you care about. So it's testing our upload speeds right now. So you can see 24 megabits per second. Okay, megabits per second. So let's go back and just keep that number 24 megabits in our mind. So we go over here and we stream at 1080p. So it's asking for 3,000 to 6,000. And this is where it's kind of frustrating. Nobody measures their internet speeds in kilobits. So this basically means we have 224,000. Basically, you look at this and you have to move the decimal place. So 24 megabits is the same as 240 kilo. I don't know, but I think you guys get where I'm trying to go with this here is your upload speeds, where it falls in here. So 24 is a very high upload speed. So that would be way above this 3 to 6 that we need. Okay. A little bit embarrassed for how much I fumbled over that explanation, but I think you get the point. So if you have maybe, let's say 3 megabits per second and you're on the low end of that range, my advice to you would be, okay, let's look down at the 720 and say, okay, My speeds are at 3000, so I'd be on the very low end for streaming at 1080, but I would be right in that sweet spot for 720. That's between 1.5 megabits and 4 megabits per second down. Do you see how that works? So I would recommend, if that's the case, that's the resolution you want to stream with, and I'll show you how to set that up in just a second in OBS. I hope that wasn't too confusing. That's kind of the necessary geekiness you need to know, because the difference between recording a video and streaming is it's more than just your computer you're dealing with here. You're actually dealing now with the internet and all the complexity that that has to do with it. Okay, so now we're set ours at 4000 because we use that tool. And for recording, you can set where you want to record your videos to. On the recording format here, I think by default it records in FLV format. That's not the most useful format if you want to use that video for something else. I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with MP4. That's kind of what most of our cameras shoot in, and all that. So I would set it to MP4, and then I don't know what the rest of that does, so I don't touch it. Audio, I don't really touch that at all. Going down to video, so you've got two things here, and yours might be at a different setting. But as we mentioned, if you are going to stream in 1080, for example, you want to set your canvas and your output to 1080. If you're going 720, similarly, you can set it to 720. And you also just want to make sure that these line up, especially if you're going to share your screen. You don't want to stretch or skew between the two, so just make sure they line up. So if you're doing 720, do 720 on both. If you're doing 1080, you can't move this one first. 1080, do 1080 on both. Okay, cool. And FPS is basically how smooth it is. The higher the number, the smoother your video looks, but it just takes a lot more energy, and it's not that noticeable, so I leave it at 30. Hotkeys I would skip. They're a really cool feature. It basically means you can click a few buttons on your keyboard and switch between scenes instead of having to, fumble around with your mouse, pull up the window, and switch a scene. But you can also mess something up if you click the wrong button, so I avoid it. Okay, so we're almost done with the settings here. I want to show you real quick how to actually stream this. And I know I'm going super fast because I respect your time. I know we're all really busy right now, so I'll kind of blast through this, and if there's a section that you want to kind of go deeper on, just watch it a couple times and you'll get it. All right, so for streaming to Facebook, let's go ahead and do that right quick. So I pulled up what we need here, and the web page you want to go to, let's reload, is facebook.com/live/create. Okay, so here's where you go live with your gear. So it's different from being on facebook.com and just say, hey, go live, and it uses your phone or whatnot. This allows you to connect to OBS. So what you're going to want to do is click on that create live stream button. And I'm going to blur this out in my little post-processing here, because this is a very important number. Don't share this number with anybody. This is actually how you can connect and stream on behalf of that other person. You don't want to let people do that, right? So don't let me forget to blur this out. But these are the numbers you need. Is this helpful? I hope this is helpful. All right, so the server URL and the stream key. So what you do here, I'm going to go and copy this and go into my stream settings, and they kind of make it nice for you. In the drop down here, they got all these different things that you can stream to. I honestly don't know what the majority of them are. I know what Facebook Live is, and I know what YouTube is, and those are the only ones that I have used. So you're going to say, go to Facebook Live, server, leave it as default, and then in this stream key, that's where you're going to copy and paste that key. Now, a very, very important thing, don't miss on this, is that every time you go live with Facebook, you need to do that process again and put a new key in, because I think from protection, like I just mentioned, that you don't want that stream to get in the wrong hands, and so I think they just force you to go in and add a new one. If you do YouTube Live, however, that key stays the same, I'm pretty sure, for the entire duration. Okay, so that's how you go live. So once you've had that applied, then you're going to put your little comments here, a title, anything else, and then your share settings. This is sharing only to you, so that's probably not what you would want to do. And then you would, at that point, once you have it ready to go, you're going to want to click on this Start Stream button down here. That's going to start to send the stream from your computer over to Facebook, and you'll see a little preview window in that area where you'll see your comments and all that other stuff. And just keep that window open. When you're ready to go live, hit the Go Live button, which will be illuminated at that point, and you'll be on. Okay? So that is that. And we'll kind of put that away for now, because I think the thing you guys really want to know, which is really not hard, is adding scenes and sources. So how you actually look on the screen, how Susie does the text on the screen. We'll walk through a couple of those. We're not going to make this an exhaustive walkthrough, but kind of give you enough to be dangerous. Okay, so scenes. Scenes are the entire what you see on the screen at that time. So when I switch over to all webcam, you see this guy in full glory, right? But then if you go to half face and half screen, this is a separate scene. I know it's really confusing, and now you're seeing 3 of me, so I'm sure that's freaking you out right now. So we're going to switch off of that. And here you can see, just text on the screen, all these different things. So how do you do this? So let's do a simple one. So web and screen little. That's a scene, and just name it what you want it to look like. And you'll see that these guys over here, these sources, make up what goes into the scene, right? Makes sense. So let's make a new one. And walk through it from the beginning. So we're going to hit add over here under scenes. Hit plus, and we'll name it. I'll name this tutorial scene and hit OK. And when you first start out, it's all going to be black, right? You don't have anything added yet. So what we need to do is start adding sources. So we'll hit plus here, and you have a ton of different options on what you want to add. So let's say you want to do a screen capture and you want to share some share some PowerPoint slides with your audience. You would go to a display capture. And let's create a new one just because you won't have what we've already created. So we'll say monitor 1. And when you hit OK, it's going to ask you which monitor. We have 2 monitors because, yes, we are like that. And you can decide which one you want to share. So to prevent the inception, we're going to go ahead and share the second monitor here. Let me get this out of the way. Hit OK. All right, so now you have this scene. So what can you do with this? Now that it's here, you can kind of drag it around. We have a widescreen setup here because we have a wider than normal monitor, so that's why it's kind of stretched over here and you see some extra real estate. You probably have a more standard monitor size, and we're not going to show you how to scale and crop all that out because that's a little too advanced for this here. But you can take your display, and if you want to, you can make it smaller, move it around, all that good stuff. All right, so now let's say we want to add a webcam. Let's see. So for webcam, you're capturing video, so a video capture device. And we'll call this webcam. And here's where you select what webcam you want to use. So we're going to want to use a C922. And here you'll be able to kind of just set the resolution. Device default is fine. Hit OK. And sometimes, because I've already shown this one and the webcam, this is a little bit confusing, so I apologize in advance. But the webcam, we've already connected it to OBS. So if you connect it again, it's not going to show up. You know what I mean? So if you're setting it for the first time, you only need to set it up once, right? You connect your webcam and you're connected. Once you have set it up that first time, let me show you. So if you want to put it into a new scene, if you want to put the same webcam into a new scene, you would go into video capture device and you can add the existing one you've already made. And there you go. That'll work just fine. And now, so we can create a scene here where it's a small display and a small webcam side by side, not overlapping. You get the idea. If you have a microphone like the one we're using, or just like your Apple earbud microphones, whenever you pull in a video capture device, it's going to automatically give you this microphone down here. So you can just go in, click on your settings, and decide which device it is you're using. So we use an Audio-Technica microphone, or you could switch over to using the webcam microphone, et cetera, et cetera. So you can pick your audio device, and yeah, there's a lot of other things we can do, but I think that let me show you real quick how to do text as well. So let's say you want to have a little title on top of your entire video. So we're going to click plus, and we're going to select text, and we'll just call this test text. All right, now you just put in what you want to say. So welcome to the OBS streaming tutorial. And you can select your font. Make it nice and big. So let's say maybe 72, underline, you get the idea. And hit OK. Change the color, but I like the white here, and you can also stretch it even further. So there you go. So now we have learned how to stream. We'll first download and install OBS. We've learned how to stream it to Facebook. We've kind of taken a dive through the settings of it to give it a try. There are other features in here, obviously. I mean, you look, there's just nothing but buttons on the screen right now, but don't worry about that. The more important thing is the basics. And so one final thing. I'm a little bit scatterbrained, I apologize. So we check the settings to whenever you click the start streaming button, it'll also start recording. But you can, as Susie mentions, that we use this to record some of our videos for our courses. You can just hit the start recording button, and it'll record just the video, and it's not going to send it over to Facebook, which is a good thing in a lot of cases, right? So that's those two buttons. Be very careful. We have hit the one button when we thought we were hitting the other button, so that's one thing just to watch out for. And I think that's it. So if there's anything that I went over just way too quickly, leave a comment. Hold on a second. Yeah.
Did you upload it to YouTube? Did you show them
how to upload to YouTube? Okay, that's a good one to show. Yeah, that's nice and easy. Okay, so let's take a recording and let's go to YouTube real quick, and let's just show you once you've created your content. I'll show you two things. So I'll show you uploading it to YouTube and uploading it to Facebook. Okay, so since we're on Facebook here, let's go to Susie's page. All right. So here, this is where if you have a Facebook page, or this works the same way on your timeline or in a group, anywhere, where you click write something, right underneath you have these options here. And so real quick, kind of tip for you is if you have a video that you want to share on YouTube as well as on Facebook, I would recommend, you can, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's better if you upload it directly to Facebook, and if you don't just take the link from YouTube and bring it over to Facebook. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. The reason for that is Facebook likes itself to be number one. It wants to know that you're giving it love because it wants to become, the number one video watching platform, and YouTube is a direct competition, so you're going to get better reach. It's going to play better in your viewer. So what you're going to do that is click on share a photo or video, upload photos or videos, and here you go. So this is a little test video we made a little while ago, and you can upload it. You'll be able to add captions. We're not going to do all of that now. It's pretty as you're going through, it's going to give you options, but that's how you upload a video to Facebook. Exit without saving. And now on YouTube, let's make this one a little bit shorter. Doing deadlifts, I like that. All right, so there's an upload button right here. And this is if you have a channel, I think you have to have a channel. So sign up. If you have a Google account, I think by default you have a channel, but just kind of, you might need to go in here and say add an account to do that. And then there will be this upload button here. You can just drag and drop a video file, or click, add the video there, and hit open, and it'll upload. You can decide if you want it to go public immediately, or if, for example, the first few hours of a video being on YouTube is very important. If people click onto it immediately, YouTube's going to realize that's a very popular video, and it's going to give it more love when people are searching for it. So what you could do is you could schedule the video. Let's say you're working on it late at night, you finally finished it, and you don't want to forget to publish it at that perfect time. So you can schedule it, and when you upload it, it'll ask you when you want it to actually go live on YouTube. So that's another option there. And then if you're doing like a free course, or if you're doing like an email course and you're just linking to videos, you can unlist your video so that it can't be found in YouTube organically, but you can link out to that video if you want to have a more focused audience to see that. And then private obviously is just for you and your family and stuff like that. Okay, so we covered a lot. How long are we running here? Yeah, so I hope this was helpful for you, and I will talk to you guys when Susie asks me to do another techie video. Take care.